Hi guys. Well, I thought today I'd do a little bit of a video on my stitching pony here that I put together. I had a lot of interest in this cam mechanism here, so let me go ahead and get this out here. Okay, you guys wanted to know about the hardware I used for the cam mechanism. This is just a probably 2.5 inch screw, and this is just a 1/2 inch piece of metal with a hole in it, and it's threaded with I think it's quarter by 20 or something like that threads. This is actually off of a baby bed. I tore a crib apart, and this hardware was what was holding it together. So where you would get this sort of thing, I really don't know. Lowe's Home Improvement Center may have something like this, but that's what actually works as the cam mechanism inside of here. Now, this is the cam, and all I really did to make this was, I'm not sure what the measurements are. This is about 1 inch wide here, and this comes in probably 1/2 inch from the end down to this hole, and from this edge in is probably, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or something like that. And I just rounded it over here in this edge and applied some beeswax. That's why it's so shiny. I put some beeswax on here so that the cam would slide nice and easy on the pony. Anyway, this just goes in here. The way I made this cam, I had some questions about that. The way I made this cam was I just drilled a 5/16 inch hole in here at this end, and then squared down off that hole, and just cut it out on my scroll saw in the shop. I really wish I'd have done a construction video. That's how I made the shape here also. I cut that out on my scroll saw. Probably use a band saw or even a jigsaw, I suppose. This is made of walnut. The first one I made was made of cherry, and it split out right here at the cam when I was trying to use it. So the walnut's been holding up pretty well. This is actually mahogany. I made these pieces out of mahogany. There again, I measured down here, I think, I don't know, probably 8 inches or something like that. I measured down probably 8 inches from this end, or maybe I measured up this way. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. I wish I'd wrote the measurements down, but inside here, when I ripped these boards to the same width, I had a little strip left over. So I sort of added those in here to make a set of jaws to grab what I'm working on. It seems to work really well, and it leaves you a little extra room in here for your project to sit. So naturally, of course, if your project gets thicker in leather, you're only closing it that, it allows extra room in here. So this is made of cherry. That's the same cherry wood that I made the first cam out of, which failed. I was trying to cut some slots in here to make this so that when you pinch it together, it wouldn't spring apart in there, kind of give it a little relief. Whether it really does anything, I don't see it moving any, so it's pretty hard to say whether that actually works or not. I noticed on Tandy's that they had put some kerfs in there, so I just tried to do the same thing, and it probably would work just as well, whether I did or didn't have that. And then down here, I don't know if you can see or not, I notched this in, probably came halfway through. This board's probably 1/2 inch thick right here, and I notched in probably 1/4 inch to give that something to hold it together when you're springing the ends together so that it doesn't fly apart on you. Kind of helps to hold that in. There's no glue in this at all, so it's just held together by I think 1.5 or 1.25 inch stainless steel deck screws. I broke one off here, so that's why there's 2 there. Nothing fancy. If I hadn't snapped that one off, there would only be 2. And then on the bottom, I just screwed up into the center of it's the same deck screws. I just screwed up into the center of the the cherry block there. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any more questions about this thing, feel free to text me or to feel free to leave a message or a comment, and I'll try to get back to you with some answers. If anyone's really interested, give you another look at that cam. It's really nothing special. It's probably, I don't know, 5.5, 6 inches long, I'm guessing. This is a, in my drill bit set, there's a drill bit above the 1/2 inch size. I don't remember exactly what it is, but that's what I used so that this would, you know, fit in there real easy. And then this just sits in here and it toggles through, you know, through that slot that you've made here. The slot I brought down actually a good bit below. I probably didn't have to go quite that far because the thing actually stops at 90 degrees, so I probably got the slot a good bit deeper than I needed. I just wanted to make sure that I had room. That's all that's for. But it's been a pretty good design, and it's a whole lot easier than I think than messing with that stupid wing nut on here that Tandy has on theirs. You know, not to take anything away from Tandy, but you know, they're pretty good company. All these holes in here, they were either 5/16 or somewhere close to 5/16 of an inch, I think. And of course, this thing, how this works is, you know, you just thread this on here, and when you get it where you want it, you know, depending on the thickness of your project, you really don't need it's not meant to clamp that leather, you know, like a glue clamp or something like that. It's just meant to hold it while you're doing your stitching. You sit your legs over this part down here. I'm sure you know, any of you guys that are watching this already know how to work a stitching pony, but when you reposition your work is when it really comes in handy. You just pop the cam up, and you know, and if it's not tight enough, you know, you just kind of hold your finger on this over here, and you can twist this till it gets, you know, where it's tight enough to hold whatever you're trying to clamp in there. But it works really well, and when I'm not using it, I just loosen it up to the point where I can flop it down there and just kind of let that hang there. Takes all the stress off of everything, and just to store it when I'm not using it. So, like I said before, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Leave a message or something down below, or a comment, and I'll try to answer your questions as best I can. I never throw anything away, and that's where I get my stuff. So I save everything that looks like it might actually be useful for something sometime. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.